Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Zoom In on a Fresh Conversation. We are back. We were on vacation last week, and I must say it was a vacation that I really needed, but I missed everybody, and I welcome everybody back this evening on our Monday night journey into literacy. And tonight, our special guest is Inez Bracy, who is an author and certified health coach. Inez, I've known for many years. Inez, thank you for coming to the show this evening.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Donna, for allowing me to be here.
Zoom In on a Fresh Conversation is sponsored by Eyeless Diamonds, LLC, brought to you by Milton McCulloch, author of Love and Emancipation, L.D. Robinson, owner-operator of Ladero Press, and Angie B. and Barty Productions. Please join me at the Museum of Arts in DeLand on Thursday, May 26th, when Brian Owens, a sculptor who lives in Orlando, will be our Black featured artist. Please come. Starts at 5 o'clock at the Museum of the Arts. It is a Black artist series sponsored by the DeLand Museum. Please join us May 26th at 5 p.m. If you have any questions for Inez, please leave them in the chat box. And this conversation is being recorded. So good evening, Inez. Please give our audience just a few snippets about who you are.
Wow, thank you, Donna. A few snippets of who I am.
Of who you are.
I love life. I love to travel. I love people. And one of the things I have discovered when I'm traveling is that people are more similar than dissimilar. And almost everybody that I have met, all they want is to be loved and free. That's it. And to love themselves. Yeah, loved and free. That's it.
Loved and free and fed.
Yes.
Love, free, and fed. There's something about eating
love, free, and fed.
Together,
yes.
Right? Love, free, and fed. And so
but that's the thing. And so many times we look at others and we think they might be different. And one thing I found out, Donna, was this. Laughter and tears are always it's the same language, universal language.
Universally.
Yes. No matter what language they're speaking, laughter and tears, always the same.
Always the same. I don't know how I fell upon this recording today, but it was about a mother whose son had died, and he was a heart donor. And she got to meet the gentleman who received her son's heart. And the laughter and the tears were in different languages, right? Because this lady was, I don't know, Brazilian or whatever, Hispanic nature. And this gentleman didn't know any Spanish. But when the tears started and the laughter came, it was a universal language. So you're so right with that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. So we want to get the author stuff out of the way because we got other stuff we want to talk about with you and your journey, which has been amazing. But this is Zoom In on a Fresh Conversation for authors. So I'm going to do that first. So rejuvenate your life. Please give us just how it all started, how is that journey to becoming an author? And yeah, so do that for us.
Awesome. That started back in 2005 when I quit my job because I could not go back into that office not one more time. And I couldn't do it. So, and I had already been, I've certified life coach as well. And I had been working with my members. I worked for the union using the life coaching style that I had gotten. And I thought, you know what, I can do this. But the thing is, Donna, I quit my job a month after signing my mortgage.
Yeah, well.
But that just, and I don't suggest that everybody will leave their job the way that I did. However, I knew that had I gone back in there, I would have died. And I wasn't ready for that.
It was sucking the life out of you.
It was, yes. Yeah. And so because of that, to Rejuvenate Your Life was born because of all of the things I went through when I quit my job and how I was able to make it. So it's almost like a journal of how, and I hired a coach right away because I know that working with a coach was what I required to complete my journey or get started on the journey so that I could move forward. So that's really what Rejuvenate Your Life is all about. And
so go ahead.
One of the things I'd like to read right now is day 4.
Okay. Yeah.
Because coming out of the shutdown and all of that, I want to read day 4. And day 4 is eliminate woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Shoulda. Oh man.
How often have you heard or said woulda, coulda, shoulda, and realized that it was wasted effort and energy? These are dead words. They mean nothing. Nothing can be accomplished using those words. Nothing equals 0, so you have a 0-sum day.
Mm.
In fact, these little words have big meaning in that there is something in the past that was not done and you're living with regret. Living with regret is living in the past and not allowing you to see the opportunities or accepting the challenges of today.
Mm.
Each time you lament, woulda, coulda, shoulda, you allow the present to slip into oblivion. You are losing the opportunities to enjoy life right now and continue to give yourself lamenting over what woulda, coulda, shoulda have done. Life is a gift to be lived in the present with an eye to the future. This is not to suggest that we ignore the past, but use the past as a learning guide for decisions made today.
Yes.
Use the past as if it were a rudder, not a compass.
Rejuvenate your life. Everyone had to, well, not everyone, but those of us who had to make the pivot after when the pandemic happened, right? That really was a rejuvenation. And if you got through it, nobody got through it unscathed. But if you got through it and knew how to pivot, that was a rejuvenation in itself. So
Yes.
thank you for that. I want to just touch on your other books and then we'll come back to Rejuvenate Your Life. Smile America. These are in books that you wrote with other people. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Anthologies.
Yes.
Okay. So Smile America, Contagious Optimism series. And is it Thank Goddie or Goody?
Thank God I.
Good. Thank God I. Series.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And Smile America was, I think we wrote that in 2008 or 9 when everything was topsy-turvy as it is now. And what we were writing the book about was to bring people the idea that smiling can really change the way you see things and the way you look at things change. And when we start to change the way we look at things, we notice that life just becomes better because now we are taking control of our being without allowing others to tell us who we can be. Contagious Optimism series was written back in before 2010.
Yeah.
And this series is all about living your life now. And as you live your life now, is the glass half full? Is the glass half empty? Why bother with the glass at all?
Oh.
Just live.
Just live, right?
And that
Don't
was
worry about it. Right?
Yeah. The Thank God I series is how we look at these things, whatever happens to us that causes us to pause, something that we consider negative. And when we look at that, and then when we get over it and we see how that incident or whatever situation got us to where we are now. So that's what the Thank God I series is all about. Taking what appeared to be something that derailed you and seeing how it was really beneficial to get you back on your path.
So you did self-publish. So tell us about that journey.
That was when Amazon had Create Space.
Oh, yeah.
And I published it on Amazon Create Space, and that was awesome. Now, you mentioned about the book cover. It was a team effort. And because of that, we have the lotus on there. And the lotus, of course, has been around for millennia. And even in the Ice Age, it didn't disappear. It always came back.
Yes.
So that's one of the things about rejuvenation. We get to come back every time we desire. And as you said, we can pivot, we can move in any direction that we want to go, as long as we own ourselves and our thoughts. And that's the most important thing.
So when you talk about rejuvenation, and that was in 08, 09, 10, and then you decided, or I always call them divine given developments, let's just say that. You were given the divine development to become a certified health and health coach. So tell us about when you are not the person that someone would look at initially and say, well, how is she going to teach me, right? When she needs to be about teaching herself. And then you go into the process. Tell me when you woke up and said, I know that I can do this.
I woke up when I realized that I had gotten up to 200 pounds. That was never me. Right. And I saw myself walking and I felt like I was waddling and I didn't like that. Right. So I decided that it was up to me to make the change if I wanted one. And a part of making the change was really learning about health and what is required to be healthy. And one of the things that I really, really know is there's a trifecta for health, and that's sleep, exercise, and nutrition. And we can talk about that a little bit more later on.
We can talk about it now if you like.
Okay, well, with sleeping, I wasn't sleeping well. I mean, when you got that much weight around your heart and all of that, it's difficult to sleep through the night. And I had been accustomed to going to bed and being asleep by 9 and waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And that was no longer happening. I would go to bed at 9 and I wake up at 11 and I'd wake up at 2 and I didn't like it. So I realized that it was because of the weight that I was carrying and the way that I was feeding my body. In order to gain 200 pounds, I was eating all day, a snack here and grabbing a piece of, it wasn't consistent. So my circadian rhythm was off because that says you eat every 4 hours. Instead, I didn't give my body a chance to digest the food because I was continually feeding it. That interfered with my sleep. Now, the exercise part is very important. We were born to move. I don't care what anybody says, we were born to move. And if you can only just make 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, make those until you make 5, then you make 10. Next thing you know, you're walking a mile. Next thing you might even be skipping a little bit. I remember when my mom was 72 and we had twins that were 4 and they were skipping down the street. And they looked back at my mom and said, I bet you can't do this. And my mom skipped down the street at 72. That will always remain with me. She didn't skip far, but she did skip. Yes. So that's all a part of being healthy. And whatever you decide, if you want to be vegan, vegetarian, carnivore, whatever it is, choose wisely what you put into your system. Because ultimately, whatever you put in has to be digested in order for the body to use it. Once you get in food that supports you in fueling the system, now you can get somewhere. And that's where I was in my life at the time.
So did the health coach certification come as a product of you're trying to lose weight, or did it come after you started to lose weight?
It came together at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, it all came together at the same time. And along with that was reminding myself how I used to be so active, how I used to walk, I used to swim. And dancing was my favorite thing to do. You put on, don't let some drums come on because Inez is going to jump up and start moving.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's the thing. I think it's important when we get to know ourselves intimately that we know what really fuels us and moves us and to allow ourselves to enjoy it.
And then you discovered Juice Plus. Now this was after you became a certified life coach, right? Health coach, health life coach. And then this product was introduced to you just as another catalyst to being better and healthy. So let's talk about Juice Plus.
Oh, yes. That was one of the things that really kept me straight on, because with Juice Plus, we have fruits, veggies, berries, and omegas in capsules. Our omegas are made from the algae, not from the fish, so you don't get that fishy space. Our fruits, vegetables, and berries are grown by private farmers, and they are checked from the soil to the seed all the way through the process. It's picked at the peak of ripeness, frozen, pulverized, and put into capsules, which gives us the whole food concentrate. We're not getting a vitamin here or a Q10 here, whatever. What we're getting is synergistically all of the vitamins and minerals and everything in the apple, in the orange, and that makes the difference because we're getting it all. And it's also bioavailable immediately when it goes into the body. Okay. Because it is in a powder form. Oh, and our capsules are vegan.
Yes. No meat.
No meat.
No meat products. And this is
no filler products.
And no filler. What is that? What exactly does that mean? No filler products.
No filler. And some people put different things in there. They'll say that it's all one thing, but they fill it with, they could put in starch, they could put in different things. We don't do that. When we say that this vegetable capsule has 25 to 30 veggies in it, that's what we mean.
Wow. So let's go back to rejuvenate, because it was a question that I thought I put here and I did not. So I'm going to just give this to you really quickly. And I don't remember what year it was. You had a brick and mortar area, right? And you were seeing clients there. And then you had to pivot to the internet. How is it different, or how is it better? Or how, which one is better? Do you think people are more apt to come forward with their discussion on internet or face-to-face?
It kind of balances out. And what I really like about when I had my brick and mortar, most of my clients were locals.
Right.
And that was awesome. On the internet, I'm open to the world. Yes. And having traveled the world, I'm able to work with those clients in different countries, so that now my business is even bigger than it was when I had brick and mortar. And I like that.
It is. I mean, when we talked about the pivot, right? For us in the literary arena, it opened up doors that we just couldn't. I mean, we were using Zoom, we were using Teams, but we had no idea what that door of opportunity opened up for people all over the world. And so when you're in these sessions with people on the internet, how is it that, do you send them questions? They send you questions? Is there a questionnaire that's filled out? How is it if I wanted to become your client? How does that work?
To become my client, you will receive a questionnaire that's very important that you complete. And once I get the questionnaire, we can have a conversation and decide if we are a good fit. And if we're not a good fit, I have lots of others that I could refer you to that might be a better fit than I. And I do that because if the fit is not good, then it's not going to work. So that's what I do. And once we get that questionnaire completed, it's easy selling. And right, I use Zoom. I record all the calls and I send them to you. I don't keep your stuff.
Can we talk about Casadega, or is that something that's off the table?
We can talk about anything you wish.
Okay, so for the audience who does not know, Casadega is a spiritual place. And once you enter the realm of Casadega, the air changes. That absolutely does change, right? So what made you decide that that was a place that your healing personal powers could be used in the best space?
Wow, that's a great question. My friend owns the hotel at Casadega, and we had been talking for years about me working there. And we were talking one day and she says, Inez, I'm ready for a life coach. So I just looked at her like she was crazy. What does she think I am, right? She says, oh, I know, but you like to travel and all that. I said, well, I'm going to be here for at least for the next 3 or 4 years. And we came up with a plan, and I said yes. And that's how I got started working at Casadega. And it was just so awesome because I had clients from literally all over the world coming to Casadega.
Yes.
It was amazing.
Amazing. And you were there 2 years?
Yeah, about 2 years, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which also gave me the opportunity to use the Reiki that I have and all the other stuff that I'm trained in. So I had an opportunity to use that as well.
Reiki healing. Let's talk a minute about that, and then we'll get back to the other things. So I am a proponent of Reiki healing. I'm a proponent of spiritual development. So for those in the audience who do not know what Reiki healing is, just give us a snippet about.
Reiki healing is about moving energy, stuck energy in your body. You don't touch your client.
Right.
All you do is to fold your hands in a certain way and just move the energy out of the body. I start at the top of the head, go all the way down, left side, right side, come back up and close the portals. And people actually can feel the energy moving through their body and going out of their body. And they get off the table and they feel so much better. They are just relaxed. And many times they say, all the pain is gone. Because that's really what Reiki healing is about, to get you back to center.
How can we, as a group of people who understand spirituality and energy, because we're made up of energy, right? The body is made up of energy. How do we precipitate that to other people to understand that there's a cause and an effect, right? And energy surrounds us all day and all night. Why is it that we have not gotten to the point where we understand that philosophy? What is that and we can not go into that, but is that the religious part that keeps people away from understanding what the energy is all about? Is that what that is? Okay.
Well, one of the things that I know for sure is because this is almost Bible built, much of that is looked at by the people who are running the religion as the devil's workshop.
Okay.
And because of that, we decide that that's not for us. When in fact, it is a modality that's been around for centuries that people have used to heal themselves and others. When we allow ourselves to open our mind just a little bit and say, you know what? I am going to go over to Casadega. I'm going to go someplace and try Reiki. You don't have to get into Casadega. There's lots of places that do Reiki. So once you decide to just give it a go and have your mind open so that you can receive. When you go with a closed mind, the session is not going to be as good as if you just come, let people do the energy on you. Know who you're working with when you go.
Absolutely. Yes. Because, the person's energy is their energy.
Yes.
And you want to make sure.
One of the things, I'm glad
it's good energy.
I'm glad you mentioned energy because energy moves all the time. Everything is energy. And because everything is energy, there are words that can lift us up or tear us down. And I always say, whenever you are using words, pay attention before they come out of your mouth. Guard your thoughts so that when the words come out, because words have energy and they cast spells, believe it or not. And when you keep saying, I don't want this, I don't want this, it keeps showing up in your world. When you say, this is the desire of my heart, and you focus on that, then you start to change the energy around your words, noticing that you can draw to you those things of your heart.
Everything has a cause and an effect.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So if you spew out things that are damaging, you're going to receive things that are damaging. I mean, it's really that simple, right? Yeah. But anyway, I really enjoyed seeing you at Casadega and you being a part of that whole healing team and spiritual development there. It's rare to see those of us with melanin there doing those types of work. So it was really good to see you there. So let's move on. Aha moments. Let's talk about aha moments, which I had the pleasure of being on your show. how that developed. Because, when I left the show, I thought, I had so much more to say about the aha moments in your life and how, first of all, I don't write them down. You should write those things down, right? But tell me how the aha moment was brought to you.
Well, let me just address what you said about writing them down. Many times when aha moments come, we don't even realize it was an aha moment until we look back on it.
Well, you're right. You're right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, that came about because Win Women, Paula Fellingham, reached out to me. She was starting this whole Win Women network, and she wanted to know if I wanted to be a member. And I said, of course. And that's how I got to be on Win Women Network. And it's so awesome.
Okay.
It is amazing. Well, the aha moments, I invite guests on the show because I could talk every night about mine, but I want people to hear from others as well. Because you never know what aha moment you have that's going to be an aha moment or give somebody a thought to do something or be something or follow through on something. And that is why I call it aha moments, because they come like this, whether it comes to you or you hear somebody say something, you read something, it doesn't matter how you get it. What matters is that you realize later on that had that not happened, I wouldn't be here today. And that's what the aha moments are all about. How did you come through that? How did you get to it? That's what they're all about.
We have several guests on the show tonight who have serious aha moments. So reach out to Inez if you'd like to share those aha moments on her show. And you do that weekly?
Weekly, every Saturday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time.
And it is on, go ahead.
It is on the, it's on Roku, Amazon, what else is that word? Fire, Amazon, Roku, Apple. It's also on our channel, winwinwomen.tv. And you can watch it live with us when I'm doing the show.
Just for your information, on the line today, of course, is Janice Kearney. I'm sure that was an aha moment, being the first diarist to a president. We have Mama Tony, who has been a lifelong librarian and so many other things. And Patricia Watley, who is part of the Ocoee family, where, the whole city was burnt down. So I'm sure they all could give you aha moments, just to let you know.
Well, you can reach out to, I'm just going to tell them right now, you can reach out to me at Inez Bracy, B as in boy, RACY.com. Yes. Inez, INEZ at InezBracy.com. I'd love to hear from you.
Yes.
In reference that you were on Donna's show.
And they all have pivotal stories that I'm sure that they would be, most people would say, themselves, let alone the stories that they could share with you. What is the single most important thing that women forget about taking care of themselves? The single, in your wisdom, the single most important thing.
The single most important thing that women forget is to put themselves first. Because we're always doing for others.
Are you selfish?
Guess what? That's why when I'm selfish, I can treat you better because I've taken care of myself. See, people put a negative spin on being selfish.
Right, exactly.
Instead of putting a negative spin on it, put a positive spin on it. When I have taken care of myself and I'm loving myself, I'm over the top, exuberant, I can treat you a whole lot better than feeling upset because I haven't really given myself permission to take care of myself first. It's just like being on a plane. They say, put on your mask and then whoever is beside you if they need help. That's really what it's all about. And when we do that, we become better ourselves. And we become to love ourselves even more because we've given ourselves the attention that we desire.
The permission to be better to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Permission, all of that. Yeah.
All that. So, but in your wisdom and in your experience, when a woman makes that kind of pivot, she can lose partners.
And guess what? Good riddance.
I'm so sorry.
If a person cannot accept you when you pivot, as you put it, then it's better that they leave and they will fall off. You don't have to say a word, they will fall off. But guess what? For everyone that fall off, you got 2, 3, or 4 coming to you at your level, enjoying being in your presence, enjoying your energy, sharing and having great time with you. That is what it's really all about. As long as you keep holding on and knowing that you don't want them to be, let it go.
It's harder for women with children because
if you say so.
We're taught.
If you say so.
Right. Okay.
I say that because when we start saying things are hard,
okay,
guess what?
Yes,
they will be. If we say this is easy and effortless, and that's how I work with my clients, this is easy and effortless. Now, if you want to make it hard, you can, but easy and effortless. And things are simple. We make them complex because we think if it's not complex, it's no good. That is not the truth. The truth is simplicity will get you from here to here to here to here, just one step at a time. Babies don't try to jump up and crawl and run at the same time. They have a simplistic way of moving. Notice children up to toddlers, 3 or 4. It is so amazing. They all into themselves, they're getting done. And by the time they hit 5, somebody done told them who they can be and who they can't be. And then they're like,
yeah. Yeah. They're experiencing fingers and toes and eyes and breathing correctly and running at will. Yeah.
Yes.
And then we stop that growth in the school system.
Mm-hmm.
Because all of a sudden they have to be adults. Like, really? No, they're children. But anyway, that's another show. Let's talk about, you talked about staying healthy, sleep, and exercise to stay well. This is a trifecta is what you call it, right?
Nutrition, sleep, and exercise.
All right.
Nutrition. And be very aware of your circadian rhythm. We have gotten so far.
What is a circadian rhythm? Now, like most people think that's an animal. Most people think that's an animal that's outside in a tree.
No, that's a cicada. What is that? That's called something else.
I'm just saying, yeah.
This is CIRCADIAN.
Okay.
And that is the rhythm of our natural movement with the sun up to sundown. That's really what it's all about. And when we are in the sun up to sundown, we can choose when we get up, when we start our meals. And the first thing that we do, the first food, if it's coffee, anything other than water that you put in your mouth first, that starts your meal for your day. That breaks your fast. Then you got 3 to 4 hours before you have something else that you put in your mouth that you're eating. You can drink water all day long.
All day.
Then you got 3 to 4 more hours. And then the biggest meal is your break the fast. That's breakfast. Lunch is a little bit smaller and dinner is even smaller, because what you're doing now is preparing your body with the foods that you have taken in and all the water that you have had taken in. Now you're preparing your body to do the repair work while you're sleeping. You see, and while we are sleeping, our body is at work taking care of everything. And when you get up in the morning, the first thing with your elimination, when you have really gotten into following the 4 hours, 4 hours, 4 hours, and exercising, you're going to notice that when you get up, you have a great elimination and you feel refreshed all day long. That's very important. And pay attention to that, because when it's not the way it has been,
right,
you will know that some dis-ease, something is coming in that you don't want to have in you. So now you got to pay attention and start working on what you're going to do to get rid of that.
Tell me, Inez, what was the one food that you enjoyed so much that you had to give give up?
Well, I'm gonna tell you one: fried chicken and fried fish. Oh my goodness. Whoa. But then when I realized what I was doing to myself, why am I putting that in my body?
Right.
And so now when I'm out and Publix and all the rest of them that cook the fried chicken and stuff, they want you to smell it when you come in the store, right? So I smell it and I go, I ain't going down that aisle. Because whenever I do, I'll get it and I don't like it.
Yeah, it's it becomes an unacquired taste.
Exactly.
It becomes an unacquired taste. Once you that's the way I feel about bread. I don't have to ever have it. I gave it up. So and unless you're out somewhere and it's just that specific piece. But normally I just leave it alone. But yeah, you're right. Once you give it up, it's like cigarettes. Once you give them up, you give them up.
But the other thing about it too, with all the foods that they have out there now in the grocery stores and other places, they are putting what they call excitotoxins in them, which really makes you.
Is that to keep them fresh or keep them?
No, to make it so that your taste buds crave it.
Okay.
That's what it's really all about. And as you're craving it, who would crave a McNugget if they ever saw how it's made?
Oh my God, yeah. Who would give it to this?
They would put them out of business right there. So, but it's the excitotoxins in it, and the food and chicken as they pump up with everything it's just so amazing how the whole idea is to keep us eating so we would become diabetic, obese, and all this other stuff. And now you got to take the pills rather than finding an alternative way to heal yourself.
So what does your plate look like?
My plate looks like, I like to make a lot of soups. So I make vegetable soups. And then I'll have a salad with arugula and spinach. Then I'll have just veggies. And then, all the rainbow colors of the veggies, all of that on my plate. And that's what I do.
And have you noticed
my shakes as well?
Yeah. Have you noticed that not eating out helps you to maintain your weight?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely not eating out. And I'll tell you what, I don't even want to eat out anymore. I just really enjoy my own food. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we have to really get back to basics.
We do. And the thing of it is, and I know so many young people, they buy the package this and the package that, and they're never satisfied because of the sugar, the salt, and the excitotoxin and everything else that's in it. Now they are eating more and more and more, and they keep getting bigger and bigger. They don't and the children, I see children now, small children, there's something inherently wrong with this. So we really get back to basics, and getting back to basics, buy the whole potato, come home, peel it and cook it, or wash it really good and cook it. That makes all the difference.
It really does. It really does.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother generational thing. I believe that we're given blessings and curses at the same time, go to college, get a degree, learning how to cook was never on the table, right? If you learned how to cook, that was a blessing. But we really have to roll back and start growing our own food. Do you grow anything?
Yeah, I got a tower garden now. That's so exciting. I just put it together yesterday. So I'll be putting in my seeds and they will grow. I'll have my veggies in there and all of that. And I did that because I know what I'm getting out of there.
Right.
I don't know what I'm getting out of there, even though they say this is what it is.
Yeah, organic, really?
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Right? So tell us, how is it that we get copies of Rejuvenate? It's still available, correct?
It is still available on Amazon. Yes, you can go to Amazon, Rejuvenate Your Life, 21 Days to Feel Like a Woman Again, and just click on it. And then once you follow the 21 days, okay?
It's 21 days.
It's 21 days.
Is it on audio? Audio.
There's not an audio yet. Thank
Okay.
you for that. I've been thinking about getting one.
Yes.
And as you finish your day, at the end of each day, there's a space for you to write some reflections so that you will start to really embrace what's in here. I find that when I read a book and I don't do whatever they suggest, it's good to read it, but I don't follow through as well. But when I actually sit down and do my reflections, answer the questions, that's all it's about. It helps me to be more solid in my knowledge and how to use it when I go out.
And it keeps you writing, which I think is so important.
Yes.
I think everybody should journal every day, but you know, it really does give you. My mother used to, I think in the South they call it a prayer closet, right? And I always wondered as a little child why she always had to be in this little space. I always think, you know, I'm little, I'm knocking on the door saying, what are you doing? You know, and she'll say, Mama's coming, you know, I'm going to be out in a few minutes. Just give me a few minutes. As I got older, I understood that that was the only space she had. Right. And she was actually preserving herself and giving her time, space, time to think and think.
Oh, she was being selfish, huh?
Right. Exactly. I mean, you know, as I was little, I was saying, why is Mommy always in the closet? She needs to come out. She needs to play with me. Right. And so, and now that, you know, I'm a seasoned veteran, I do understand now that when you're growing up in a house with 10 other people, one bathroom, 4 kids, a grandmother, tons of relatives, that it wasn't a prayer closet. It might have been, but I think it was more of a peace closet for her.
Yeah.
And she never stayed long, but she was different when she came out, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Much different. Yeah, that's amazing. I wish she was still here now to know that I got my aha moment. Oh, now I understand about it. So, is there anything else you'd like to share with us before we leave this evening?
So one thing that I might have 2 or 3, but I'll start with this one.
I do ask for a pearl of wisdom. Is that what this is?
Say that again.
I do ask everyone for a pearl of wisdom. Is that what this is? Are you about to give us some?
I'm about to give you, I'm gonna give you
okay.
this one.
We can take more than one. I can take more than one. I'm good with that.
The best thing that I have found that I can do for myself, and you might want to think about this for yourself as well, is to always, no matter what's going on in my world, I don't care, give myself permission to see what I think I see and then to flip it. And as I see things differently, things change. Let me tell you something. We have the divine power within us to change situations that we think we have no control. Somebody else we think might be in control. But with our energy, with our knowing, just focusing on the desires of your heart, you can change whatever you thought that situation was going to be to support you in being the person you know yourself to be and giving you the results that you desire. Now, sometimes those results will come and it doesn't look like exactly what you wanted it to be. Right. That doesn't matter, because that is the result that's going to get you to the next step and the next step and the next step. It might even look like a setback, but that's okay, because when you get a setback, you get a chance to regroup. And when you get a chance to regroup, now you can come out stronger and just hit it. It's so amazing.
It is amazing. It is amazing.
And I know, I ain't telling you what I think.
Right.
I'm not telling you about a theory. I'm telling you what I know.
Yeah, exactly. A setback is a setup for something better.
Yeah.
Right. Always something better. Any more pearls of wisdom from you? We'll take as many as you got.
Thank you. As you go through your day, from the time you wake up in the morning, what I do is segmentation. Okay. I know I do my thank you and all that before I get out of bed. Then my segment is to start getting ready. My next segment is to go to the studio. And I see myself getting in the car, driving. And every time I get in my car, the whole mantra that I'm saying is ease and grace and protection, ease and grace and protection. Because the way people drive, yeah. And every segment, I find myself doing better and better and better. And like when I get off this call, I'll do my segment to get ready for bed.
Let's talk about that really quick. What time is it? 8:50. So I've always been told that you should have a process. Listen, the lady that was here a couple of weeks ago had a book called Good in Bed. Now before reading the book, I said, well, it might be kind of late. So let's do that on a Friday night. When in fact, one of her biggest things was we spend 36 years of our life in bed. 36 years of the span of our life in bed, and we sleep on Walmart sheets. We sleep in mattresses that are 20 years old. We sleep on fiber-filled cushiony pillows, right? So when you say get ready for bed, what is that process for you? I mean, I know you don't sleep on Walmart sheets. I know there are at least 80 threads or something. Positive about that, right?
You're absolutely right about that. The thing is, some people don't really know. They've never slept on a quality sheet. And because they have never done it, that's the thing. I have children all over the world. So I gave one of my daughters a set of 900 thread sheets. And she called me the next day because when her husband sat on the sheet, he said, oh, I like these. Where'd you get them?
Where'd you get these sheets?
Yeah. So I told her where I got them and all of that. So the thing is, when you start to treat yourself the best that you can, buy the best that you can afford. The very best. I don't want you going into the hole or nothing like that, but the best that you can afford today. Now, next week, it might be a better best. And then the next week, it might be a best, better, better. So whatever you can afford, and look toward always going up. Always going up.
And what people don't understand is a 900 count will last forever. You can wash it and wash it and wash it and wash it.
Forever.
And keep putting it back
and
on
it feels
your bed,
better
right?
and better and better. It's like
better and better. Yeah.
And one of the things that maybe I'll not say this, but one of the things I like
You
a
can
lot
say
is having those sheets and just sleep in the nude and just.
Oh, absolutely. The only way to go. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so,
good.
yeah, so your process, what we want to get across to people, and you can expound on
okay,
it.
my routine, I shut off my electronics.
Everything.
And then I give myself 15 or 20 minutes to just sit in peace and just reflect on my day. And if I want to write something down, I write it down. Get my shower, put on some jazz or something else. And then I get in the bed and I just give myself permission to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, Mama Tony says in the nude is the only way to sleep.
Only way to sleep. I mean, I don't understand how to sleep any other way.
I know, but people really like to, they got on all these clothes. Ooh.
Well, one thing, I have an African doctor, and she says every part of your body has to breathe. And if it's closed up all day, when do you think that's going to happen? When are your pores going to breathe? When are your pertinent sexual parts going to breathe? They don't breathe if they're closed up all day, right? Yeah. So that's what most people don't understand. It's not about being nasty or whatever you want to call it. It's about letting your body breathe and get rid of the day. Right? Get rid of the day.
Yeah.
Right.
And when you're sleeping on good sheets, it's easy.
It is everything. It is absolutely everything. Miss Inez, I thank you again for your years of friendship. And I thank you for being on Zoom and on a Fresh Conversation and rejuvenating us and giving us some pearls of wisdom and letting us know about Juice Plus. And tell us how we can reach out to you for Juice Plus. Is that something we buy from you, Or how does that work?
Awesome. You can go to ibracy.juiceplus.com, or you can reach out to me and I can show you how to get there easier. So Inez@inezbracy.com. You can even give me a call if you want. 386-748-5484. If the voicemail is full, send me a text.
I do try to clear my voicemail, but sometimes it doesn't happen. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. I missed you last week while I was in Dallas. Thank you for coming back and spending the evening with me. I just want to take a moment to tell everyone to become a part of the Black Women's Health Study at Boston University. They have been doing it for 25 years, keeping track about what Black women suffer from the most, how we can do better in our lives. They will send you the studies. They will send you everything that you need to just give yourself a tweak about the things that we're doing wrong and that we can do better. And that's www.bu.edu/BWHS. And of course, I can send that to you if you did not get that, but it is the only study that does the study of Black women exclusively for the last 25 years. So thank you for getting that. www.bu.edu/BWHS. Become a part, because what they do is significant. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Agnes. Thank you for being on Zoom and on a Fresh Conversation. And we'll see you next Monday night. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Oh, could you please email to me? Okay, we'll do it. Thank you. Good night, everybody.